Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Town Hall. It's going to be a special edition we're delighted to hear, and I want to start off with a couple statistics that I found relatively interesting and kind of put the enormity of the tasks that we've accomplished, the enormity really of the people that you're going to see tonight, what they processed. I think a lot of times we throw numbers around and we used to billions and trillions and all these good numbers, and we kind of become immune to them. But I want to throw a couple numbers out there a little bit for feel for you. Did you know that during the COVID in California alone, 30% of all restaurants closed, and that 1 million workers were furloughed or laid off? Now, the reason I'm telling you that, that's a lot of people. And when I say 1 million people, I want you to comprehend what 1 million people would look like. And if any of you have ever been to a baseball game, a football game, or see one where there's 50,000, it's about 20 of those stadiums. It's a lot of people. Now, in reference to the show tonight, I want you to kind of think about something. We gathered 2.1 million petitions, and it says a lot of the time in the press, that's not a big deal. Anybody can do that in a state this big. I think they forgot a couple things. One is they've never gathered 2.1 million of anything. And again, we get immune all the time. We don't see our money. It's transferred into our bank account, right? We don't see the stimulus that Gavin talks about. None of us probably get. And it's sad that 78% of the people in California are getting it with our tax burden, but that's a story for another day. What's really interesting is that we had to gather 2.1 million signatures. And the people that actually processed most of those signatures, we want to give them a little bit of recognition tonight. And one of them is talking about me. Hold on a second here. We'll get to you. Okay. Hello. Because understand, Susan?
You may want to mute for a little bit.
Just a little bit till we get to you there.
Yeah.
Susan, I got a question for you.
Sure.
The 2.1 million petitions we collected, how many do you think actually went? I know the number, but I'm going to throw out to you if you think you know what it is.
You cut out, so I didn't answer your question.
Christine, maybe you know the number. How many? There's some noise in the background from somebody. How many petitions, Christine, do you think the mailroom actually processed? Pieces of paper.
The mailroom processed like 150,000.
150,000 sheets of paper, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's an enormous amount of sheets of paper to take out of envelopes.
I'm going to stop everything right there real quick. Christine, your two computers are too close together. So we're getting loopy feedback between the two computers, I think. So one of them is going to be have to be muted at all times while the other one's speaking. That'll work. Thank you.
So get in mind what a monumentous task. Thanks, Oren, because I wasn't sure what the technical. I thought it was maybe a skeleton in the background, Christine, putting a haunt on it. But what we want to do tonight is celebrate, actually, and some mail-in stories, if you will, a little bit. Again, a lot of numbers are thrown about. Understand 150,000 petitions is probably the equivalent of about 500,000 signatures, right? Give or take, it's 3 per, or that these people took their time and effort to process. And understand the time and effort they did to do that. Oren and I spend a lot of our day consulting with people who want to recall Gascon, they want to recall this, that, and the other. We talked to a group in Colorado today, and actually, I guess it was Minnesota that want to do some recalling. I'll leave it at that. The reality is, we would not be here today. And I tell this to these other groups, it's more than just gathering a bunch of volunteers and God bless you all. It's really a group of people that need to process the petitions that come in. And that's really what this show is about. the people that gave up their love of labor and their time to actually touch the sheets of paper, which were the petitions themselves. And I want to really get across the enormity of the task that was accomplished so we, the people, could get this done. It's amazing the teamwork that California put together in the last 8 months to gather all this paperwork, everything that Orrin put together to make this happen. But it's really amazing that the people, that what Christine and the mailroom did to centralize and get this going. Orrin, I'm going to turn this over to you for a few words here.
I really appreciate that. And there's nothing more important than that mailroom. I mean, everything that we did was important. The mailroom was paramount. They processed all of the incoming mail and the donations that we got through the mail and things like that. And, to have somebody open their house up day in and day out, every day of the week for months on end, to people coming and going and around their schedules, in and out. Christine had her core group of people, and she's going to talk to this. And outside of that core group, they had others coming in, a day here, a day there, an hour here, 2 hours, 4 hours there. I am not the person that would be able to do that. I like my privacy. I know that, I'm not a very sociable person when it comes to interacting with people, and I like my home space, and I like to keep that sanctity there, and to know that somebody was willing to take that step and make that sacrifice for California is incredibly gratifying, humbling, and I can't tell you how much appreciated it is that happened, that resource. Christine made that resource available. Christine and her husband, Ron, and that cannot be overstated.
So what we'd like to hear tonight are some mailroom stories, if you don't mean it. Or where do you want to start? You want to start with Christine or Helen?
I think, turn it over to the boss. And Christine ran the mailroom. It was her deal. I'd say, Christine, this is your show. Have at it. That was a wonderful slideshow that was played early on in the pregame. And, we could play it again at the end of the show. Tim, can you put that in the hopper and make it available when we're done with the show? We'll play it again.
Yes, I'll go ahead and do that. Thanks, Orrin.
So, hey, everybody.
You're
Turn your
standing in an
volume down.
echo chamber.
So
Turn your volume
Christine,
down,
for-
people. So
Christine,
we
I
have
had
two
to-
laptops set up here. We're in the mail room in Sacramento, California. We're at the mail room for the recall. And most of you thought that was a GOP office. Apparently, nope, it was my living room, the whole house at sometimes. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Christine Abercrombie. I met Orrin in early 2020, coming off the last recall effort from Aaron Cruz. I was kind of a lone wolf. I couldn't really find people to work with, and I would go out on the freeway and hey, recall this jerk, So I think Orrin heard that I was kind of crazy like that. So he had me come volunteer with him, and then we hit it off, and the rest is history, basically. And I helped him work with the Secretary of State's lawyer to get the petition submitted and approved, and for all you people to take it and run, which you did, obviously. And during all this planning, one main thing that I saw and we discussed was a need for people to be able to self-serve petition them, and sign themselves and mail it in. Why do they have to find someone in front of a store if they could just print it out and fill it out themselves and send it in? I mean, almost everybody, well, we found out not everybody has an envelope and stamp, but most everybody does. And so we took on that task of getting a PO box for the petitions to come to. At one point, I don't know if you remember, Orrin, you wanted this stuff to come to your house. hopefully, hopefully you reconsider that quickly, because it was a lot of mail. So we had ebb and flow, you know, started out slow but steady. We went all through summer. We dipped out during the fires. It came on strong in the fall. Once the French Laundry thing hit, then it exploded. During the week of Christmas, I don't know what everybody did during their Christmas, but they signed petitions is what they did, because our mail quadrupled and it never looked back after Christmas week. So we were getting sometimes thousands of pieces of mail a day here at the house. So I would go pick it up every day, bring it home. And then we had different volunteers that came and would help out, some few hours, some all day. I mean, a whole day shift. You know, I'd have to start planning. I'm like, I got to feed these people. I got to have plenty of toilet paper. I mean, it became like a whole, like, kind of sanctuary over here where, you know, it was kind of people's like safe place almost, where they could come during COVID and have kind of fellowship with other people and get work done and you know, be able to move this process ahead, which was fantastic. So to all my volunteers, they were just amazing. I knew early on that I could take on this logistical project because I've done logistics before, and I knew that I could put together processes that would get this accomplished. And we never fell behind. We kept up and we got those petitions off to where they needed to go. So very, very exciting process, a long process, especially once we thought we'd be done in the fall and we weren't done in the fall. And you know how the year drug on for everybody. I mean, there's no sympathy for anybody last year. You can't get empathy anywhere on last year, but we've all had our struggles getting through this. And it was an amazing time. I have some members here with me that are going to help talk about what they did in the recall and also here at the mailroom. And we're going to share some of our hate mail, some of our love mail, some of our interesting quirks that we had from people. We got interesting messages. We did get one glitter bomb at the end, which didn't go off except at the post office. Sorry, post office. The glitter never made it here. Sorry. But it was a joyful thing. And so I want to introduce the ladies that are with me. Sitting next to me is Linda Rich. She is the Placer County AP. Get your head in there, Linda.
Hi there.
And she would camp out in front of Bass Pro Shop to get her coveted spot
At 5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning. And I don't know why she did it, but she's
So the
crazy.
paid petitioners couldn't have the spot because I asked them to share it with me and they refused. So I thought I'd show them who's who.
So we had war. Across in the other screen are Stephanie. She is the Sacramento AP. She ran her butt all over the county, getting petitions, keeping her people motivated and happy. And then sitting next to her is Heather Keller, not Helen Keller. I don't know if that was my typo. I hope not. But anyway, that's Heather Keller, and she is the Regional 2 manager, and she did a lot of work keeping APs in line and keeping events running throughout. But one thing they also all did was work here in the mailroom, and we spent hours doing this, hours and hours. So I am going to turn it over to a few of them, and they're going to tell you kind of about what they did, why they joined the recall, what drew them in, their personal responsibilities, their personal reason for doing it. I failed to mention my personal reason, which is the signing of AB 5, with put out 1 million independent contractors out of the ability to earn a living when that was signed in January of 2020. So I'm going to hand it over to Stephanie, and she is going to unmute over there. And I'm going to mute. She's going to tell you why.
Well, Stephanie's unmuting, if I could chime in here real quick, something that people wouldn't know and you wouldn't tell is that when we had no money in the campaign, absolutely no money at all, Christine was the one who volunteered to foot the bill for the PO box. So that initial investment in the mailroom came right out of her own pocket. And, it did. And I remember how we met was you were waving flags on a bridge down there with Kim, and, wonderful people. We've made a lot of friends along the way, lifelong relationships that won't ever go away because we've worked so closely together with everybody. And it's just been a wonderful journey as we go along. Stephanie, back to you.
Are you muting?
I'm muted.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Suela. I'm the Sacramento County Coordinator and the AP for Sacramento County. I'll give you a little bit of a reason why I started this and wanted to be involved. I did do the Aaron Cruz recall. I tried my best to get as many signatures as possible, but there was really no support system. As this one came along, I learned that Christine and Susan O'Connor, which I had met probably in 2019 at a walkaway event down at the Capitol. And I decided to get involved with this one. I was asked by Susan Hurd, which is my boss, as I should say, wanted me to film it, and I told her at this time I couldn't. I said, I'll take on as the coordinator for Sacramento, but I have my personal reasons. And the reason for it is we own a family business. And with all the taxes, it's just, I drove around for many years, which I don't have the car any longer. And this is exactly what it says: born free in California, taxed to death in California. And that's how I really got started with this. That's everywhere we turn around is we're taxed. We're taxed, and it's got to stop somewhere. And the best way was to get rid of Gavin. So besides that, I just want him gone. And I'm so happy we got the numbers. I mean, I am so tickled pink. I mean, I don't cry too much, but when I heard that we got the numbers, I literally cried with joy. So yay. So Christine didn't read her letters. I didn't know if she's supposed to or not. Do you want me to read my letters?
No. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna read some letters, and here's the funny thing. I got the good letters. So we're gonna start off on the good side. These are from notes that was put into petitions as we were opening them. And I'm not saying that I received this. This could have been anybody within the mailroom. But I will tell you, I did run around Sacramento County everywhere, and I did end up in the mail rooms nights out of the week. I was dedicated to make sure this happened, just like so many other of us. There's people that want this to happen. There's other people that just, I guess, I don't know, pooped out. I don't know how to say it. But here's a cute one. This is funny. This was dated 12/14. It says, count me in. Get rid of this gel-haired fool. El Cerrito, California, from a John. And he mentions that he was a Democrat, but now he's a Republican. So let's go to another one here. This one's 7/20/1920. 2020. Let's get this done. Get this nut job out of office. Let's make him incompetent along with his colleagues next. California needs to find a stellar governor. I signed the petition over weeks ago, and I could do it again and again if I was allowed to. Thank you for all you do. This one says, thank you for your work to rid California from the evil and heartless dictator of this governor. It is outstanding to me how he can so eagerly dismiss the misery he has imposed on the countless restaurant owners and other small businesses with a smile and a wave in his hand. While some in this wonder how they will feed their children, he dines in luxury. How does he sleep at night? Most sincerely yours, Mary. Not mentioning last names here. This one is pretty patriotic. I love it. Little hearts with red, white, and blue. It says, after seeing an interview on American News, I feel I moved to support the efforts of ousting Governor Newsom. As you said, as governor of California, he goes to no matter and cares less, and God forbid that he's ruining our state. I want to protect my home, this state, and the rest of the nation from such horrific policies. May your endeavors be successful and you patriots stand up and restore California as its best. This one is awesome. Yay. Okay, this one is February the 13th. It says, a little long, so stick with me. You have no idea how satisfied and excited I am to be sending you this recall petition with 5 signatures on it. I am an elementary teacher in Monterey County. None of my colleagues or neighbors would sign this petition. This envelope has been kicking around in my handbag for 3 months now. Last night, the assistant at the local AT&T shop joined my dentist, my hygienist, and my hairdresser to finish this form. Hopefully these signatures will help to fulfill any gaps that may be needed. I am so very appreciative of your dedication and leadership on this. I will be there to vote for a replacement in our recall election. Power on, Teresa. And last but not least, a very simple one. It says, please get it done. Set an example so other states can get it done too. That's my favorite.
Aw.
And that's all of mine.
Okay,
Heather's next.
I'm next. Heather Keller, not Helen.
She wrote a book. She could see.
I thought it was a poke at me.
Let's see, I started in the mailroom in June of 2020. And I'd say that I'm like a lot of the volunteers I've worked with in that before the lockdowns last March, we were aware of Gavin, but not as aware as we are now of how awful he is. And a lot of us have done a deep dive from March until now. Early on, when it was essential versus non-essential, that just really hit me wrong. And I knew prior to that San Francisco and then the death penalty, changing that on his own. But since last March till now, just really doing a deep dive. And I was more than happy to sign on in the mailroom with these guys, and then got recruited by Susan to be a regional manager in September, I think. And like I said, like a lot of the volunteers that I've worked with, we've never been so political, but I do believe like in our state and nationwide right now, it's people like all of us that are making differences, whether it's your board of supervisors, your school board, your governor, what have you. We're the ones that are making change. And it really feels good to be a part of this team. And like Christine said, the camaraderie that we had in this mailroom when people were going through a lot of different personal situations, to be able to come here and have each other like-minded people eating donuts together, too many donuts, too much coffee, maybe some vodka sodas, tequila, whatever. But I'm really proud to be a part of the team and really proud of all the work that we've done. And to all the other mailroom volunteers, you know who you are. Thank you so much. We had so much fun here, and it's an experience I'll never forget. And I get to read now some of our nasty notes, so please forgive me. I'm not going to use the cuss words, but
Damn it.
we have one here. I know.
What the hell?
Well, I can't. Maybe later.
We could go there.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
F yourselves and get a life. Stop wasting money.
I sent that to Mike. How'd you guys get it?
Get some other fool to sign your stupid petition. This one's good.
Gavin, we
Not
know that was
happening,
you.
jerks. Go F yourselves, cow patriots, and I'm a Republican. There's so many of these, but this one was really interesting, and I'm just going to shorten it up. Dear CPC, I would prefer you spent your time helping out this state rather than spending time whining and complaining and littering our neighborhoods with irrelevant claims. This state is doing the best it can. Get a job. Go exercise. Are you part of the group of overweight humans hanging out on the corner in Morgan Hill and hanging Trump signs on overpasses? I'm going to just condense this. Are you the people, the loonies that have signs on I-5 declaring, quote, is growing food wasting water? Damn right it is when you overplant and grow water-intensive crops in the desert. Water should flow to the bay to support the fish and the people that earn a living off them, not to some overwatering farmers shipping our products to foreign countries. We do not need more dams. We need more free-flowing rivers. You probably are still chanting and going on about the Second Amendment too. Oh, brother, like you and your silly military dressed up lackey boys are going to stand up to a helicopter, or worse, are you part of the gun-toting idiots that litter the desert with propane tanks and television sets shot all to shit? I should be able to shoot you for that offense. I own my fair share of pistols and rifles. Go police the desert with this extra time, and on and on. What? No return postage? Spend it on cigarettes and or alcohol, I guess. Did you vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger too? Sincerely, the wiser patriots. Make wisdom the goal.
Wow.
Just a little taste of our
And I
fun.
do want to go on record and say, I do want to go on record and saying we didn't have money for the alcohol, but we did buy the cigarette.
Okay,
Okay.
we have the alcohol in the mailroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't
Okay,
get.
off to Linda now. I gotta mute.
Linda, now you guys need to switch off again.
Yep, we're here.
I got
Does
it.
that sound odd?
Yep, go.
Okay, my name's Linda Rich, and I've been involved with the recall since August of 2019. I started on the Aaron Cruz recall. And my friends have asked me, how did I become political? I was never political before. And it's pretty much a series of events that pissed me off, that got me to call Dan Cioni and ask him about the recall for Gavin Newsom. One of the things that made me very angry were the wildfires in California. And because of those wildfires, and they began in 18, and because of those wildfires, PG&E started doing rolling blackouts. So if you live up in the hills, your power, they tell you your power would be shut off. And sometimes it was for 5 days. So I had to cook on a wood burner, heat my house. Thank God I had a wood burner. There were people in my town that didn't have this item to use, and they had to rely on neighbors and stuff. Eventually I bought a generator, and we had to hook up all these electrical cords. So they tell you there was a rolling blackout based on the wind factor. And then it wasn't windy, and we'd all be sitting there in the dark wondering what was going on. So that was really frustrating. And also the fact that Gavin Newsom solely blamed PG&E for the wildfires, and that strictly wasn't true. Having been to Germany and seeing the way they maintain their forests, I think the way to deal with the blackouts and wildfires is to have a culmination of PG&E, the state, and the feds work together to take care of our forests. So that was one thing. The other area that was frustrating to me was the homelessness. And that was pretty evident to me because I do business in San Francisco. If you go by Golden Gate Meadows horse track along Highway 80 in Berkeley, you can't even drive down the road without possibly hitting somebody. There's drunks, there's druggies. Then you get into the city, and I would often cross onto Market Street near the Tenderloin, and I had to drive under the speed limit so I wouldn't hit people. People were out of their minds, just walking all over the place and not paying attention, and sleeping in tents, defecating, they're naked. I saw it all. And having been born in San Francisco, it really broke my heart. So then I saw the posting from Dan, and I got involved with the first recall, the Aaron Cruz recall. And a lot of people say, well, what happened with the first recall? Well, honestly, what happened was we failed. We just didn't get enough signatures. It was that simple. I think we got, what, over 350,000, if that, the first time around. And the second, and I met Keith Jones. He's the one that I trained with in front of Bel Air. And then I started on my own doing tables in front of Safeway, Bel Air, Save Mart, until they called the police on me. And then I used some of the information that we had, the prune yard, and it actually worked. I had an officer come up to me and told me I had to leave. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, I have this document right here. Could you talk to your command watch and talk to him about it? He came back and he said, I'm sorry, ma'am. You go ahead. I'll go. Really good. I became an AP for Placer County the second time around, along with Kim Scott and Keith Jones. Petitions to the county registrar. And we quickly became friends with the people at the registrar's office, my scene, that I could relate to other volunteers and people that ask us questions. My job as an AP was interesting, and Keith and I worked fairly well together, submitting petitions, doing the count and all that. So then, let's see, the mailroom. How did I get involved in the mailroom? That was, I think you put out a notice saying you needed help. And so I answered that. So I was doing the mailroom. I was doing my AP job. I was organizing people. I was sitting in front of Bass Pro Shop at 5:30 in the morning. And I have to tell you that finally, this paid petitioner, I can't remember his name. I waited for him for forever, and it was a Sunday. And his Suburban
name was
came cruising by, and we weren't open yet. And I'm standing there, and I saw the Suburban come cruising by, and I didn't really look at him. I just kind of was standing there. And he made a left turn, and he drove away, and I went like this in front of Bass Pro, and he stuck his thumb out and gave me a thumbs up. So because he wouldn't work with me, he never got that spot again. But anyway, so what are some of the fun things about the mailroom? We had John Doe. You've probably all heard of John Doe. Well, I tallied it up today. This person sent us numerous, look how nice this is. See all the stamps, it's all nicely written. Each one of these packets is full of about 30 petitions. The first one that came in was just way too perfect. Not a page was wrinkled, there's no food stains. And I said, you know, you guys, this is kind of weird. So we kind of put it aside. Well, the next week, we got another one from John Doe, and another, and another, and another. And today, I tallied up how much John Doe spent sending us petitions, $95.69. Now, this guy lives in San Francisco. Supposedly. And we were a little concerned at first. We're like, well, should we turn this in? What should we do? Is the guy a little different? Is he going to come after us? And we decided to just play along. Why tip our hat? So we just kept collecting them and piling them aside. So we always got a kick with John Doe. And his address does say San Francisco. And speaking of San Francisco, we started on Mondays for about 4 hours, and this mailroom quickly grew to Mondays and Thursday nights. It was 4 hours and it was 6 hours. Well, when Thursday nights, we'd be sitting there doing it or working on the petitions. And then finally we'd get a petition from San Francisco. San Francisco, we never saw petitions because they're honestly a fairly liberal city. And so we get one, and we got the habit of doing a toast of tequila every time we got a San Francisco petition. So that was kind of the highlight of our Thursdays. Some of the ladies drank apple juice, but most of us preferred tequila. So anyway, so that's how I got involved. It's been very gratifying. I wish I could have been involved at the end of the recall, but unfortunately I was in the hospital with COVID. So I got to watch from afar, but I'm very proud to be a part of this. And I'm actually really, really proud that I can tell my grandchildren that I was involved in something monumental, history making. So thank you to everyone out there. Oren, Mike, I call you Nutter, if you want to know.
I don't think you're the only one.
Probably appropriate.
But everyone
That's-
involved,
that's
Susan,
kinder than
Robin,
what I call
everyone,
him.
thank you.
And really think how amazing it is. In
Where's the money?
So,
Where's the money? Where's Waldo? Think how amazing it is, all these people. And in the last year, I mean, year and a half, think about some of the stories that has been told. We have been through our churches being shut down, which just got overruled. We have been our schools being shut down, kids scattered, which nobody's sure what we're doing. We've had unemployment fraud. We've had Newsom running all over the state. The story's almost too much to comprehend. Yet, amazingly enough, the eye of the storm, and no, it wasn't Orrin, because Orrin was like, sorry, Orrin. The eye of the storm has really been the mailroom. The thing which functioned no matter what was happening. Listen to what they said. There were fires. There was storm. There was everybody out there collecting petitions no matter what. And the mailroom kept functioning together. And I want to, Orrin and Christine, bless you guys. I mean, really, and Susan, for all of us together, really. And I love what you just said, Linda. It's we could tell our grandchildren, we could tell anybody that we participated in something that was historic. And the reality is, no one knows how this story is going to end, and I think it's going to end well. But the reality is, we got it on the ballot. And the number of people that we talked to, right? Let's be honest, folks. You and I'm in the mailroom, and I got to tell you a couple of funny stories in a second. But wasn't it great when you said "woohoo"? All our work really paid off. We did it. We got it on the ballot, and you know there were some days, no matter how much tequila, right, was flowing, that you were thinking, "Damn, is this really going to get done?" Right? When you got some of those notes, it's hard to do. Yet these folks kept their spirits up in the most amazing way. And I want to go back to some of the letters you've read, though, that are really funny, to show again how Gavin united the state and kept us all glued together. Because you also got, and I saw some of them, Orrin and I have had these calls, but you guys are a bunch of friggin' idiots, and you shouldn't be doing this, and I'm a damn Democrat. But here's my petition anyway, right?
I knew that was
You got
you.
some notes. Yeah, exactly. You got notes, you got people cussing out. In fact, it's amazing that people took the time to write you a note, put it in the mail, right? We can't get people to return petitions to cuss us out for doing it, but there's people that wrote notes or called us that said they totally disagreed with what we're doing, and we're the damn this, that, and the others, but boy, they hate Gavin more than anything else.
You know, Mike,
Go on.
on that note, the best hate mail I ever received was, "I hate all you MFers. I can't believe I'm signing this damn thing, but here's my signature. I hate the fact that I'm working with the Republicans to get this done, but I'm doing it anyway because I hate Gavin even worse." That was an actual hate mail that came through. And you know what? That bridged the gap right there.
So here's another reason, if I can interrupt, here's another reason to hate our glorious governor. California under a state mandate that's going to be considered Thursday, tomorrow, they want all Uber drivers to have electric vehicles. Okay. Right. First of all, if you're driving for Uber, you can't afford an electric vehicle. Who can? And the second note, this is 5 years before the public is mandated to have an electric vehicle. I mean, give me a break. He just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. This guy has to go. I so wish there was a way to get him to go before the special election.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw a comment there too, and I want to be really clear. We don't hate Gavin as a person, okay? In a way, this is going to sound strange. I feel really sorry for Gavin Newsom, okay? But the reality is we have a government that's not managing our state well. You think of everything that you folks put out in the mailroom, right? It's because our state's being managed horribly. And whether you like it or not, puns intended, it's Gavin who's in charge. It's the governor where the buck stops, and he decided to run for this office.
God, you know what, Mike? I wish he was the governor where the buck stops, but it just keeps seeming to flow right on by.
Yeah, good point. It's just.
I agree with you, Mike. I hate him. Yeah,
Whoa.
I'm sorry. He has
I understand.
California. I do not feel sorry for this man. This man has enough money to do whatever he wants to do for the rest of his life. I do not feel sorry for him. Is he a guinea pig for Nancy and all the Democrats? Maybe, but no, I do not feel sorry for him. I do not like him.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, let me rephrase that a little bit. I feel sorry.
Who said even my cat hates Gavin? Yeah,
no, I feel sorry for the people of California, but the reality is, this guy is an idiot in over his head. Okay, and that's just the reality of it. Okay. If he was at least an intelligent idiot, all this wouldn't be happening. And so when I say I feel sorry for him, it's not sorry for him as a person. I just wish he would go away. I feel sorry for the people of California. I feel sorry for everything that he's done. But he's part of an infrastructure, which is a joke, and we've elected the wrong governor. Okay, we, the people of California.
The Democrats did.
The Democrats did. So this is what this is about. We have to stop the single party rule. And that's really what all this is about.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this here, and we elected the wrong president. Okay. This time. All right. We the people stand up and do something about what's going, and that's what we've done. And that's why, bless you folks in the mailroom and everybody out there. I don't feel necessarily sorry for Gavin as a person, but I feel really sorry for the whole situation, I guess is the best way to put it. It's amazing that we, the people, have stood up and done something. It's sad that the people in California were conned into electing, a narcissistic, dysfunctional person to be governor. And that's why we have to make sure and keep pushing that this recall goes through, okay? That we actually recall him. We can't just go out and say, okay, we got the recall on the ballot. We have to continue to fight as a state and everybody stay united. What the mailroom did is amazing. And I hate to break it to you guys, you're not off the hook yet, because there's a lot more to go. Go ahead,
Can
Susan.
we talk a little bit about how we're going to get that vote out?
Absolutely. And I was just going to say, Mike, we're winding down to the 7:30 hour, and let's give Christine and her mail crew the table, and let's talk about that. And then we'll play the last clip, the slideshow as we fade off into the evening tonight. So wrap it up, Christine.
Okay, so, you know, we worked really hard here, getting all these signatures. So now we have to get that vote out. We're not done, people. You know, we're just like halfway there, unfortunately. So we put together a couple bullet points of things that you can do to kind of help get the vote out. One is a reminder to check your voter status. I know that seems really, really simple, but a lot of the signatures were thrown out because people had issues with their voter status. They moved, they didn't sign correctly, or their name has changed or whatever reason. So, check base with them and make sure that all your ducks are in a row as far as your voter status. Get others to register to vote. Help them. There's a form. You can get it in post office, wherever, or you can do it online. It's easy. On the website, recallgavin2020.com, where you can donate any day of the week.
Yes.
Or you can print out the new trifold brochure, which you can make your own brochures, walk around with a little envelope full of them. You strike up a conversation with friends, family, your hairdresser, if you own a banner, whatever place, church, while you're out shopping, deliver some to some nursing homes, wherever. You could just go stand in front of a store. Hell, we did it for months. Hold a sign and give out brochures. You don't need to have a whole booth. Just get the word out. So it's going to be repeat messaging. So signs up and repeat messaging is what's going to happen. Another way you can do repeat messaging is social media. Social media is so important. How do you think we all came together? We used their own nonsense against them. Okay. So this is real. So if you see a story about Gavin, if you're following your local news or whatever, and they say something that is Gavin related or could be related, make sure you throw in that recall Gavin Newsom hashtag, whatever, get yourself a little picture that you just post up, because the repeat messaging is what will get in people's brain. Okay. And we need to use as many free options as we can because we're cheap. We are frugal. Okay.
We don't have money.
We are very wise about the way we've spent your donations. Okay. I want you to say that we are not living it up here at the Four Seasons. Okay. You could do car signs or bumper stickers. So if you drive a lot of miles, if you're a trucker, slap a big old sign on the back. If you have a house that overlooks a main thoroughfare or freeway, think about putting up some signage. Recall Gavin, recall Newsom. That's all you got to do. Go out on an overpass if you're like me and you like to get honked at and flipped off. It's fun, I'm telling you.
Yes.
It's a fun sport. And these are all things, and you could use your creative license. How can you get the word out to tell people to vote on this, to get him out? Whatever you can do, friends, family, whoever. You cannot be vocal enough about how we can get this done. So those are our tips from the mailroom to get the vote out. Now that we spent all these hours doing this,
Fill out the form properly.
we need you to do that. So also we still need donations because we do want to do marketing and keep the radio show and this and that and whatever else we got to do to get it done. So go online, or if you want to send us a check, you can do that. Make sure you fill out all the donor information so we are legit with the
We need all the
big dogs.
information.
We don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so those are tips. Stephanie wants to say something. So I'm going to toss it over to Stephanie.
Anybody that's in Sacramento County, just so you know, If you want to order yard signs, flags, car magnets, anything of that nature, I'm listed on the site up there. Just give me a call or text me. I'm picking up the merchandise. We're going to get it out to you. We need to get it in the yards. We need to get it on our cars. We need to get it out so people know we need to vote him out. Thank you.
The magnets are cool.
And
I
my-
got them.
And I want my team to get started too. Come on.
All right, I love it. And say hi to Ron behind the sign back there. I know he's been waiting for this to end, and
All our
this
waited.
skeleton Ron.
Christine, Stephanie, Heather, Linda, and everybody else that worked this mailroom. Thank you for your hard work. We wouldn't have accomplished as much as we have without you. And we truly appreciate it. And all your volunteers. I was going to say employees, but no, volunteers.
I'm a jack of all trades, right, Susan?
Hats off to you guys, and we applaud your effort. God bless.
I'd like to say one more thing. Hold on a second.
Absolutely.
I forgot to mention Kim Scott. She's also an AP of Placer County, an integral part with Keith and I. So I just wanted to mention her name. Thanks, Kim.
Tim,
Thanks for the
thank
shout.
you.
Everyone.
All right, you guys. Tim Holiday, would you do us a favor and show us out, my friend?
I'll make a quick announcement. Tune in on Friday for Friday Night at the French Laundry at 7 p.m. And you can call in.
abc.com.
KABC 790, and we have Harry Kasem in studio with us along with Eric Early. So it's going to be all the information that you were asking about tonight. We're going to get out on the Friday night show. Friday nights, the French Laundry 7 to 9. And,
KABC.com.
and
And you
if I
can also call in at 7 o'clock at 1-800. Go ahead, Mike.
2225.
222.
Thank you, Orrin. Took you a while there. We'll have to practice that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Tim, roll us out here, brother. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week. Thanks, Skittles, the skeleton. And
taking
Good night, everybody, and bless you all in the great state of California. We're
And
taking
don't
it back.
forget to donate to recallgavin2020.com.
Good night, everyone.